482-LIFE.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
A pet swan named Pooh.
Yeah.
Now, that's remarkable.
Get out of
Wait,
here.
a chicken has an earlobe?
The color of the earlobe?
How else are they going to wear earrings?
That's why, you never saw Dick Clark and Fidel Castro at the same time either.
And welcome to Trivia Friday. Ed Vitagliano sitting in for Tim Wildman this week. I am joined in studio by J.J. Jasper. Good morning to you, sir.
Great to be here. And this is the segment of Learning University for dating advice. Ladies, if he gives mixed signals for months, breaks up via text, ghosts you so intensely you don't know if he's alive or dead, that's not your man. That's your current president.
Oh, man.
It's called satire.
Yes, I like it. That laughter you hear, that delightful musical sound, is Brother Bert Harper.
It's good to be with you guys. It's been a while. It's good to be back.
Filling in for Tim today.
Always nice to have Brother
Hey, well,
Bert
I
here.
think I'm filling in for you since you're filling in for.
All right. Well done.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay.
As long as we get the show in the can, I guess it doesn't matter who's filling in for whom.
Yeah.
So anyway, you do a great job on this show.
You really
Hey,
do,
I
Brother
enjoy
Bert.
it. It helps me to come on every once in a while because sometimes on Exploring the Word, I'll say something I think is funny and Alex doesn't laugh. I mean, so you guys, y'all are pretty good.
Well, you've done the same thing on this show, Brother Bert, so you should feel right at home.
Oh, my word. Hey, guys, I know there's so much ground to cover. Our listeners are the best. And look at this shirt that I got. And let me tell you, this is from Cindy and Trudy. And here's the backstory. She says a few years ago she was able to get on Trivia Friday, and she asked you, what is the longest ongoing annual Old Soldiers and Sailors reunion in the United States? And she said it was Erie, Kansas. And then when I asked where Erie, Kansas was, she said 45 minutes from Pittsburgh, Kansas. JJ, you said, I think someone from Pennsylvania moved to Kansas and started naming towns. Well, this is the 151st reunion with no missed years. Isn't that remarkable? And so those who are able to watch. So they
sent you a T-shirt.
Yeah, sent a T-shirt and said some really nice things about Learning University. And that was from Cindy and Trudy, and gave a lot more nice things to share. Yeah, and the newspaper were all the events that are upcoming with that. But what a highlight for it to be that ongoing and very patriotic and honoring our veterans.
Pretty T-shirt.
It really is.
Well, those sailors had to travel a long way to get to the ocean from Kansas. So. I mean,
I like the way you think, Brother Bert.
Yeah, well, I think geographical, man, that'd be a long trek.
Well, and that's why you got bell-bottom pants, where you got, it's loose while you're walking acrough.
That's right. That's right. And JJ mentioned if you're able to watch, we do have a number of ways through which you can watch the live video stream of this program. You can go to Facebook and search for Today's Issues. That's normally the name of the show. You can go to YouTube and search for Today's Issues Live. You can go to our own streaming platform, which is stream.afa.net, or you can go to X, formerly known as Twitter, and search for American Family Radio. You can watch the live video stream. You can see Brother Bert's beautiful orange shirt. That'd be worth the effort right there.
You guys both have a little paisley going on. Nice orange. You got a nice greenish teal shirt.
Oh, pastel.
Pastel.
Yeah.
Pastel. That's the.
When you're white up here, you need a lot of color down here. That's right. That's the way I look at it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, folks, the number to call if you want to be on the program with us, if you have not been on the show within the last 2 months, we invite you to try to get back on. We do want to give as many people as possible an opportunity to be on the show. So if you've been on with us in the last 2 months, please wait a week. The number to call is 888-589-8840. That's 888-589-8840. Brother Bert, we have 9 questions total coming right at our students, 3 each. One of those is a special question.
Yeah,
Tell our listeners about
if
it.
you hear a question and you correctly answer that question, and it is that special question, you'll hear this sound.
Ah, the beloved cowbell.
That is our mystery question.
Okay, mystery question.
No, it's special too.
It's special. Okay,
Believe me,
the
as
special mystery question.
Special ed, which is what I am. I like special questions as well.
Okay.
So, all right. The only other...
and we win a cap. That's what you win.
Yes,
Not
good.
a tumbler, but a real nice
These are nice
AFR
looking.
baseball cap.
If you're on the, there it is.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a
And
great
it's
looking
adjustable,
cap.
so it can fit
On big heads.
Yeah, big heads.
Yeah.
Or small heads.
Yeah.
Either way.
So that's what you win. We've got the AFR baseball cap. Tim calls it a trucker hat, and I guess it is. I've seen plenty of truckers wearing hats like that, but it's very nicely done. AFR, that's what you win if you correctly answer the mystery question. All right. The only other restriction that we've got is you need to be 11 years old or older to get on the program. We appreciate your understanding on that matter.
Okay.
So, all right, I think we're ready to go. So, Bert, why don't you start us off? I'll go next. JJ will finish us up.
Okay. 2 of mine are multiple choice. Last time I got on, I felt like they were too hard, so Tim told me to lighten up. So I'm giving a multiple choice here. This is my Bible question. Who delivered Israel by killing 600 Philistines with an ox goad? Okay?
All right.
With an ox goad. And here's your choices. They all start with S. You know, I'm a preacher,
Yes.
so I like that alliteration.
That's right.
Saul, Samson, or Shamgar. It was one of those S's.
Okay.
Good.
And so it's in the Old Testament. Here's my Andy Griffith
Was it
show
Samsonite?
question. Yeah.
It wasn't Samsonite. He wasn't in there.
No, Samsonite was not in. That's what he carried his ox goad in.
goad.
Samsonite luggage, yeah. Okay, what is the name of the church that Andy, Barney, Aunt B, and Opie attend on Sundays in Mayberry?
Wow, that's a deep dive.
Yeah, well, I thought that, so I saw to give a multiple
Good.
question.
Good.
Here it is. All Saints Church, All Souls Church, or Mayberry Community Church. It's one of those 3.
Good.
Okay.
And the Baseball Hall of Fame, you know, they're inducting some
That's
people.
right.
First time Willie Mays hasn't been there in years, the Say Hey Quick Kid.
Because he died this year.
He died this year. Man, he was one of the great. Did y'all ever see that over-the-head catch?
Yes.
I wasn't there now. I wasn't that old. But, man, I've seen that on video.
That was in the 50s, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he turned and threw that ball. It's one of the most
Amazing.
beautiful plays
Amazing.
ever in any sport. It is. Well, here's the question. The Baseball Hall of Fame was founded in 1936. There were 5 men who were already in. They went in the first year. 5 of them. Can you name 3 of the first 5 inductees?
Good. Boy, that's great questions.
Excellent.
Okay, they're obvious if you know baseball.
Right.
And they're kind of obvious. It's not that hard when you think
Right.
about great baseball.
Here's the deal. We don't mind giving you a hint. Pete Rose is not in there. He ain't among them. At least that's my bet.
For all you Pete Rose fans, and even if you're not a fan, you get that joke. So, all right, I'll go ahead and give you my 3. First question. There are 7 epistles in the New Testament that are called the general letters. What are they? There are 7 epistles in the New Testament that are called the general letters. What are they? All you have to do is look it up, and you'll have the answer to that. Second question. This one might be a little hard. I don't know, but at least Tim's not here to mock it. He mocks my hard questions.
You're going to miss that, aren't you?
Yes. All right. We know that Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon. Who was the last?
Oh, man.
Who was the last man to walk on the moon? And third question, I told you I'm going to have one of these every week until the election. Who were the presidential candidates? I'm talking about the main 2, Republican and Democrat. Who were the presidential candidates in the 1976 race for the White House? Who were the presidential candidates in the 1976 race for the White House? All right.
Here's what I've got. Hall of Fame Christian singer who had 5 Grammy Awards, 11 Dove Awards, 3 of which were for Male Vocalist of the Year. And one of his signature songs is a duet with Sandy Patty. Name him. Second question, what type of clam chowder is made with a tomato-based sauce? I'm not a foodie, but you Betty Crockers, Chef
I know
Boyardee's.
this one.
What type of clam chowder is made with a tomato-based sauce? Third question, true or false, there are no snakes in Ireland. Is that true or false? There are no snakes in Ireland. True or false?
All right.
Some of us may want to move there then, right? If that's true.
If it's
if
true.
that's true.
You don't
Yeah.
like snakes?
I don't like snakes except dead ones. I have
Yes,
to
you-
admit.
The only good snake.
That's the only
dead
good
snake.
snake there is. Yes.
All right, Brother Bert, let's
Okay.
start us off.
Yes, let's go to Louisiana and talk to Wyatt. Wyatt, thank you for calling.
Hello.
Hello, 12 years old, I hear, Wyatt.
Just under the wire.
Man, what part of Louisiana are you from, Wyatt?
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Hey,
yes.
hey, Wyatt, have you had a good summer swimming and riding your bike and hanging out with your friends?
Yes, sir.
Good. Do you want to ask, answer, or do both?
Both.
Which one you want to answer?
The 5 Baseball Hall of Fame.
Here we
Oh,
go.
wow.
Okay, I love this question. The Baseball Hall of Fame was founded in 1936. Name 3 of the first 5 inductees. Go right
Ty Cole,
Ty Cobb, yes.
Walter Johnson,
Yes.
Christy Mackleton.
Yes. Wow.
Wow. Oh, right out of the chute.
Right out of the chute.
Now, that's pretty exciting
that
right
is.
there. First caller answers the question, and do you know what that cowbell means?
I got that.
Yes, sir. A baseball.
Got the
Isn't that
baseball
big?
hat.
Baseball hat with that baseball Hall of Fame
He'll
quiz.
be ready.
Yeah,
hey,
I like it.
You sounded like you knew the other 2, do you?
Hannes Wagon.
Wagner? Yes.
Yeah. Honest Wagner.
And one other, the greatest baseball player possibly of all time.
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Nice
That's
one.
all 5
Hey,
of
well, you
them.
got to tell us who your lifelines are. We hear, I think, mom and dad in the background. What's your mom's first name and your dad's first name?
Well, I'm at my grandparents' house.
Well,
Oh.
well, your grandparents.
That's even better,
That's
guys.
right.
All 3 of us are
Give,
grandparents.
give
That's
them a little
great.
shout out. What's your granddad's first name and your grandmother's first name?
Buddy Williams, tell him.
Buddy Williams and Paige Williams.
Wonderful. Well,
It
that's
wa-
good.
It was Nana and Pawpaw. Come on
That's
now.
right. That's right. Hey, well, listen, Wyatt, stay on the line so we can get your address and send this to you. But what's your question for us?
I have a joke for y'all.
We're ready.
All right.
How did the tree get into the internet?
How did the tree get into the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is going to be a riddle, some kind of bark or leaf or something that ties in with surfing. What's a
Listen, you know I'm bad with riddles anyway, but this one sounds particularly.
All right, we're
the,
going to
the mouse must have taken a seed.
Yeah. Hey, Wyatt, what's the answer?
They log in.
Log
log
in.
in.
There,
All right.
We were
All right.
that close. How do you say it, Ed?
I missed it by that.
Hey, stay on the line, Wyatt. Congratulations. You started this show off in a great way. Answered the question,
Hey, amen.
won something. That's wonderful.
The mystery question is gone.
It's gone. It's off
Man.
the table.
Woo. Okay, let's go to Texas and talk to John. John, thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
Oh, hey, John, you sound like you may be younger than 21 years old.
He's
Am I right?
13 years old.
13 years
Right.
old. Man, right off the bat, 2 great.
Two young
You can
people.
tell it's summertime, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
right.
John, you having a good summer?
Yes, sir.
Good.
What part of Texas are you from, John?
Texarkana.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
We got somebody that's on the radio lives in Texarkana, Jeff Shreve, you know?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Hey, John, you want to ask, answer, or both?
Do both.
Okay, which question do you want to answer?
The one with the one with the Israel killing 600.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, I'm making up for the last time I was on when nobody answered any of them.
No,
Okay.
but those are medium hard questions. You have to-
Okay, here it is. Who delivered Israel by killing 600 Philistines with an ox goad? I gave a multiple choice. Saul, Shamgar, or Samson?
Shamgar.
That is correct.
Really?
Way to
Done.
go.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. One of David's mighty men.
Right. One of the things I thought might happen, no, he was a judge.
A judge.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
a judge. Benaiah was one of David's mighty men that was caught in a pit on a snowy day and killed a lion.
Yes.
I love that
and he
story.
was, and he was also his personal bodyguard.
But Shamgar, an ox goad, it's just a long, long piece of wood pointed on one end, and the other one is flattened so that they could point to the ox to get it moved, but they were pulling wheels, and the other end was so they could clean the wheels off. And so Shamgar was an excellent warrior with the ox goad.
Wow.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think
Well,
William
Sudbury.
Wallace out
Yeah.
there.
Now I want to try. Hey, John, I'm going to put JJ and Ed on the spot. What did
Oh, good.
Samson use to kill a bunch of them?
He used a donkey's jawbone.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I thought. That's the reason I put Samson in there,
Yeah.
thinking they might get that mixed up. But John, you got it right.
Yeah, a little
didn't fool
backstory.
John.
It had on that jawbone, it had an AR written on there, really small print.
AR.
And both those guys, there's not a lot of audio, but they said, I'm about to open up. I'm about to go all Old Testament on you.
Well, way to go, John.
And
Hey,
then, listen, when he was, after he had killed 500, he had to go for lunch, and he said, I'll be back. That's when he killed the next
There
one.
you
man,
go.
you're on it today.
Everybody's on a roll.
Okay. Hey, John, what's your question for us?
My question for you is this: who were the first 7 deacons chosen to serve in the new church?
Okay.
All right.
Oh, wow.
You got two
I know
pastors.
two real
beside
quick.
me. Right.
Yeah.
I don't.
Stephen and Philip, we know.
Right.
Yes.
And who was the other 5? They had unusual names.
Yeah.
Niger, I think, was one.
Bubba.
Niger.
Bubba.
Junior, Bubba.
Hey, we know 3. We know 3, maybe. Go ahead and give us the list, John.
I think you stumped us.
Stephen, a man full of faith and Holy Spirit. Nicholas, Prochorus, Timon, Philip. Okay. Stephen, a man full of faith and Holy Spirit. Philip, Prochorus, Nicanor, Timon, Parnemus, and Nicholas, a proselyte from Antioch.
Yeah, and half them boys I named herbs after them. You can use a little bit of that and oregano and different things and come up with some real nice, tasty things to eat.
Those 7 men, man.
Yes, that's
they were
good.
chosen out.
Amen. Hey,
Made the Bible.
thank you, John. You don't have but a few days left in your summer, so make the most of it, buddy.
That's right. Thank you again, John. Now, listen, Ed, look at that name from Tennessee. Is it DeLess? DeLess? I'm going to take a chance. DeLess.
You click
Close enough, Detlef.
Deathless.
Detless.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen, these two guys are not from Mississippi originally. I am, so it's hard for me. I mean, with our dialect.
You struggle with my name.
I know it, Frank.
You did well.
Hey, what part of Tennessee you from?
I'm in Memphis.
Memphis.
Yeah.
Okay, not
Yes.
far away.
Yes.
Well,
That's what
listen-
Ramsey's hoping we'll all be is deatless.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think you've been on with us. Have you been on with us before?
I have. Yes.
All right.
Yes, I have.
Because I remember the unique name being from Memphis. So anyway, welcome back, Detless. You want to ask, answer, or do both?
Of the remaining questions, I don't know any answers. So let me have a shot at the snakes in Ireland.
All right, since it's true or false, here's the question. There are no snakes in Ireland. Is that true or false?
I'd say false.
It's 100% true.
True.
Now,
St. Patrick killed them all.
Well, there's two thoughts. Legend has it that St. Patrick drove them out, and a lot of people adhere to that. And then the other, here's what I got, little backstory. Ireland is one of the few places in the world that doesn't have snakes. Scientists believe that the most recent ice age, that ended however many years ago, kept the island too cold for reptiles to survive. And after the ice age, the cold waters surrounding Ireland may have also prevented snakes from colonizing the island. So It's true. Ireland. So, hey, realtors, when you're looking for one more way to make that pitch, I would live somewhere where there are no snakes.
Yeah. Hey, Ireland's a great place. Some of us have that in our heritage.
Have you been there?
No, it's one of on my list to go. So if I don't get to go in this lifetime in the 1,000-year range,
you're going to Ireland.
There you go.
Well, I got The Quiet Man's one of my favorite movies.
Oh, John Wayne.
John Wayne, Maureen O'Hara. Yeah.
Yes.
And that took place in Ireland.
It did.
Yes.
It's awesome. Hey, if John Wayne was in it, it was good.
Yes.
I mean,
good try on there, Detless. What's your question for us?
Why do the English drive on the left side of the street? I'm going to make this multi-choice answers, make it easier. A, it is related to crime. B, it is related to most everybody being right-handed. C, it's related to weapons. Or D, the English wanted to distinguish themselves from the rest of Europe.
I'm going to go with D.
Yeah.
But all those others sound plausible because scares and castles had to do with weapons and so many things like that.
The way they were driving cars back then too.
Oh, that's good to think about when they're passing each other in the chariot. Saluting. No, handshakes have something to do with hiding a dagger and to show that you don't have a weapon. That's where that started.
And it is true about castles.
Yeah, the castles.
The way the stairs go to up the stairs to the right, I think, because
you can't
to
draw
the left.
You can't draw your weapon out.
You with your shield, you're better protected than if you're going up the stairs.
Right.
You're defending the castle.
What do you guys say? I'm going to say
go
D.
with D.
I'll go with D.
I think that.
Let's make it unanimous.
Distinguish themselves from the others. What's the answer, Detless?
So
3 out of 4 answers would have been correct. You were elaborating on the right subject there. This goes back to the Middle Ages. When you traveled in England, you never knew what kind of trouble you get into. So an English horseman would ride on the left side of the road. In case trouble arose, he could use his right hand, pull his sword, and fight his way out of it. Everybody did that. So as of 1835, it became law.
Old habits die hard because that's the exact same way I go up and down the halls here at AFA and AFR. You just can never be too careful.
You got that English blood in you.
That's exactly right, mate.
Way to go.
Hey, thank you, Detless. Thank you for listening to AFR. God bless you. Have a great weekend.
That's a good question.
It was a good question.
All right. We're going to take our break, folks. When we come back, by the way, you're listening to Trivia Friday here on American Family Radio. Ed, JJ, and Bert are your professors today. When we come back, we will reset our questions for you and go right back to the phones. So, Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Ed Vitagliano, JJ Jasper, Bert Harper are your professors. Looks like we got Ed in Tennessee, Steven in Arkansas, Christy in Minnesota, Noah in North Carolina, Tina in Arkansas, Michael in Nebraska. In no particular order, by the way. The computer will pick one of you. But, folks, you're on deck. So be ready. Don't go make a sandwich. Be ready to come on the air with us. We'll be right back.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildman.
Can you remember the zest we had for living when we were children? I can remember how each day was exciting, something to look forward to. There was always enough energy to do whatever it was that we wanted to do. It's a wonderful thing, this zest for living. The problem is that it sometimes dies when we become adults. We are beset by all the many and varied concerns which life places on the shoulders of adults, and we often let those weight us down until the zest for living is gone. How can we maintain this childhood zest for living? Well, I've found some guidelines which will help us do that. I'd like to share them with you. One thing which helps keep the zest in living is the knowledge that your life has some lasting significance. There is in each of us the desire to be somebody. Nobody wants to be a nobody. This desire to be somebody is a God-given desire. This desire is not so much one to be rich or famous or powerful, but rather it is that of being needed, wanted, loved, to know that you matter. When we lose this feeling that we are worth something to someone other than ourselves, the zest for living goes out of life. I want to know when I die that what I have done has made a difference in the corner of the world in which I live. I want to know that I added something to the world to make it a better place. William James, the 19th century American psychologist, once said this: "The great use of life is to spend it on something that outlasts it." And Leo Roston added, "The purpose of life is not to be happy, but to matter, to be productive, to be useful, to have it make some difference that you lived at all." And of course it was the Galilean carpenter who said, "He who loses his life for my sake shall find it." Another thing which helps keep the zest in living is a positive attitude. You see, our attitude governs what kind of life we will have. Your glass is either half full or half empty. It all depends on how you look at it. In any situation, you can look for the good or you can look for the bad. You can usually find both. What you do find depends on what you're looking for. When life doesn't go exactly right, you can quit and curse the world and God, or you can pick up the pieces and start again. What you do depends on your attitude. A person can look for the good or he can look for the bad. He can be critical or he can be commending and commanding toward life. And it doesn't take an ounce more of energy to look for the good, to believe the best. The other factor involved in keeping the zest in living is a deep and active faith in the Nazarene. As a teenager, I came to the realization in my life that with Him life made sense, and apart from Him it was meaningless. I have long believed that with Him I can achieve some great ambitions, but apart from Him ambitions aren't worth having. An active faith in the Galilean answers life's deepest and most perplexing problems. A person needs to know that despite all of life's inconsistencies, God still rules. Just because you aren't always a child doesn't mean you can't have a zestful life. So keep the zest in living. It makes life more exciting.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
In Him, we were also chosen, having been predestined according to the plan of Him who works out everything in conformity with the purpose of His will. Ephesians 1:11.
American Family Radio.
In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
Well, welcome back, folks. That's a great theme song. Bert, what's that from?
It's the A-Team, B.A. Baracus.
I pity the fool. I never watched that in the 70s or 80s.
Face. How about Face?
Face,
Yeah. And Hannibal.
Murdoch.
Yeah. It was great. It was great.
And there's nothing like coming back with sound effects that you're not really sure what's going on in the commercial. I mean, because it's all audio, but you understood what was blowing up if you saw were watching.
Yeah, if you
There's
watched
still
it in memory.
I heard that and I thought we was at a Trump rally.
Ooh.
Do you guys remember? We'll get right back, folks. Just one quick question. You remember the Rat Patrol?
Oh,
Yeah.
that
Rat
goes
Patrol.
way back.
Yeah, that was a
Standing in the back of the Jeep with that mounted
50 cal, I think.
Yeah, going after what, the desert rat?
Yeah,
I guess?
the Nazis and I think they were British, but
That's when television was really
There
television,
you
oh
guys.
man.
Hey,
Rat Patrol.
Guys, if I can quickly make mention, this has been an emotional week for us. Monday and Tuesday, Family Talk with Dr. Dobson, they aired our story about our son Cooper, his death on our farm, and that was a real blessing. Want to pray for the Lord to water those seeds that were planted. Well, then yesterday, my daughter Maddie joined me on air, and she is leaving in 10 days to go move to Africa to be a missionary. And so pray for our family. We've got a lot going on, but so thankful. She's going to Kajabi, Kenya, going to be teaching school at Rift Valley Academy. And so we're in. Brother Bert had her on the air. He's going to be in a couple of weeks on the Exploring Missions program on the weekend. But a remarkable young lady, straight A's from K4 through college, took a week off, started on her master's. She's been a children's director for 4 years, but she's always had a heart for missions. And so she's going to be able to surrender to the call and leaving in 10 days to move to Africa.
Well, and that is extraordinary because Maddie's really super gifted. She can do all kinds of things and probably make a pretty good living doing it, but surrendering to the mission field.
Yep, you're exactly right. She's beautiful. She's an elite athlete. She graduated cum laude. She could be a CEO, go off and do anything, but she's got such a heart for missions, and we noticed that when she was a young child. So I said all that to say, please pray for Maddie. We covet your prayers, and she has to raise her own support. So you want to go to JJ Jasper Official on Facebook, I've got a little something posted there. She's actually heard from a lot of our listeners, and that does a daddy's heart good.
Amen. All right. Well, Bert, we need to reset our questions. Why don't you start us off?
Okay. The one I have first, the first three, is the Andy Griffith Show. What is the name of the church that Andy, Barney, Aunt B, and Opie attend on Sundays? It's a multiple choice. Is it All Saints Church, All Souls Church, or Mayberry Community Church? It's one of those three. Adding two, what is the name of a group of owls? What is the name of a group of owls? And then this is a true or false question. Babies are not born with fingerprints. Is that true or false?
Well, good question.
Good question.
So babies, if they don't have them, they get by with a lot of crime.
That's right. Commit a crime, don't get caught.
If that is true.
Don't do the time. All right, here are my three questions. There are 7 epistles in the New Testament that are called the general letters. What are they? You can look this up. It's an easy one. The answer will pop right up. Second question, we know that Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon. Who was the last? Who was the last man in history to walk on the moon? Third question, who were the presidential candidates? I'm talking about Republican and Democrat now. Who were the presidential candidates in the 1976 race for the White House?
Good questions. Here's what I've got. He's a Hall of Fame Christian singer, 5 Grammy Awards, 11 Dove Awards, 3 of which were for Male Vocalist of the Year. And one of his signature songs is a duet with Sandy Patty. Name him. Second question, what type of clam chowder is made with a tomato-based sauce? What type of clam chowder is made with a tomato-based sauce? Then third question, I'll add one. Which Old Testament king was about to die, prayed, and God extended his life 15 years? Which Old Testament king did God extend his life 15 years?
Good questions. All right. Let's get back to it.
Let's go to Tennessee and talk to Ed. Ed, thank you for calling.
Hello, esteemed savants.
Oh, wow.
Savants.
Thank you for your honesty, Ed.
that means a very learned person.
Yes. Hey, you want to ask, answer, or do both? Welcome back.
Hey, listen, I I'm going to go against tradition, if I may. I like to ask two easy questions. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, the first question is, there are 4 states in the United States of America that have a Commonwealth form of government. What are those states?
I thought you said easy. 1 is Kentucky. 2 is
Yes.
Virginia.
Yes.
Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And then, all right, hang on. We're going to talk amongst ourselves for this fourth one, Ed. Isn't something weird like Vermont?
I think it is one of the New England. I thought it might be Massachusetts, but I'm not so sure. Is it? You're from up
Commonwealth? I think it is Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
I thought it was.
All right.
That's right.
We're going to say Massachusetts for number 4.
Now, we got to say it right.
And we
Massachusetts.
we
correctly.
barely know how to pronounce it. Ed, what's the right way to pronounce it?
Commonwealth of Mass.
How'd we do, Ed?
April. Now, the other question I want to ask is, the president of the United States, before he became president, he had a short modeling career. He was a model. Which president was that?
Hang on a second. Don't say anything. We're going to talk amongst ourselves. Wasn't it Reagan? I mean, I know he was an actor.
I can't believe it's anybody before Kennedy. I just, John Kennedy would
he was a
possibly,
handsome fella.
Yeah, and then Lyndon Johnson, we could rule him out from
we can rule out Nixon and Johnson and
Gerald Ford,
about 40 of the rest of them.
Gerald Ford too, yeah. I don't know.
I'd go with Reagan.
It may have been Gerald Ford. He was an amazing athlete, football star, a whole lot of other things. You see that in the airport there in his home state.
But it would have to have been in his younger years.
Ronald Reagan seems like the easiest. Let's go Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
How'd we do, Ed?
Gerald Ford.
Oh,
Gerald Ford.
I should have gone with my gut.
You should have gone with it. Yeah. You shouldn't have listened to us.
No. Well, in the airport they got all these things, and you said he did this and that and this, and he was he was in tip-top shape, and he was an outstanding football star.
Yeah.
All through school and everything, and then wound up being president. Thanks, Ed.
Hey,
Have a great
thanks,
weekend.
Ed.
Yeah.
Great. 2 great questions.
Okay. It's to the state of Arkansas, and it's Tina. Tina, thank you for calling.
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Good. What part of
Well.
Arkansas are you from?
I live in the little community of Big Fork, which the closest town is Mena, which is about 20 miles away.
Yeah.
Tina, you're not too far from the Dollar General, are you? There where you live?
Well, actually, believe it or not, we don't have any out here in these mountains. I have to go all the way to Mena, which is about a 30-minute drive.
Say it ain't so.
Somebody
There's not
from
enough
Dollar
of us
General
scattered
is
through the-
listening.
Yeah, you be patient. They're going to help.
They're coming.
They're going to what does Ed say? They're going to parachute. They're going to parachute one in there before you know it. You just be patient.
Or you can just go to the one in Mena. They have a little packet of seeds, and you just plant one in your community, and one will spring up in no time.
I found a new way of traveling.
Yes, I'm actually from deep south Mississippi, and we've been up here about 15 months. My husband is a pastor, and I guess I've complained on and off. Why don't they have a Dollar General here, in these little communities?
I thought that was
Not
part
enough
of the
people.
call to a pastor. They had to have a Dollar General close
That's
by.
right.
Yeah.
Hey, well,
Exactly.
a couple of things, Tina. Thank you and your husband for your service as in ministry. Thank you for listening to AFR, and we'll pray for you as you're making an adjustment, a new state, and everything. But you want to ask, answer, or do both, dear?
I'm going to answer, and I may ask. I've got a question, but I don't know if it would need to be asked. But anyway, I want to do the one about the epistles.
All right, here you go, Tina. The question is, there are 7 epistles in the New Testament that are called the general letters. What are they?
It's going to be James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, and Jude.
That is correct.
Nicely
well done.
Okay, the two pastors beside me here, general epistles, general letters. What distinguishes those from what do you call in the other ones if they're not general? I'm asking for a friend.
Yes. Well, they're called the general epistles because they don't have a specific.
They're not writing to a
city,
specific church.
the church at Colossae
right.
or the church at Thessalonica.
Okay, good.
But they think Colossians, the good thing about Colossians, they think that it may be more general, although it's to Colossae. He said also read the letter I wrote to the Laodiceans. And so it was pretty good the way. I love that. That's one of my favorite lines in there. Yeah, this is not good enough. You need to listen to that other one, too.
And where is it?
Yeah.
I'd like to read that.
Like you say, instead of saying this is for the church of Ephesus, this is the church of so those are just the general ones.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I learned something. Hey, what's your question for us?
All right, this is going to be, I guess you would say, somewhat of a hometown question, meaning hometown where I'm at right now, around Mena. Back during, I guess maybe late 70s, early 80s, I'm sure you've heard of the Mena Connection. That's kind of what put Mena on the map years ago.
That's with Bill and Hillary Clinton.
Oh, don't remind me. Anyway, there was a pilot flying drugs way down south in exchange for arms. Can you name who that famous pilot was?
I can't name the pilot, but they did a movie, and I don't recommend it, but I've seen the trailer. The movie, the pilot is Tom Cruise, and they actually had such a connection to the Clintons that he bought the airport there in Mena, was laundering thousands and tens of thousands of money through the bank and buying everything in the town, buying new equipment for the sports team, buying everything. It was just like, he just had this open-ended thing where he was flying to the Caribbean and working with the cartel, and then started even smuggling troops. But it was a crazy
wow.
Even for the Clinton days, it was a bizarre.
And Tom Cruise made a movie about it?
I don't know who made the movie, but Tom Cruise is the pilot. Again, I do not recommend it, but I don't know anything about it, but I've seen the trailer because I'm a pilot, and all things aviation sort of grab my attention. But this guy, the guy in real life, the government said, here, you can buy this airport, and here we're gonna help give you money, and then you can make all the money on the side you want smuggling these drugs, allegedly. And on and on and on, and then he eventually got murdered by the cartels.
Wow!
And he started documenting, hey, they're coming after me, and he started making videotapes, and those videotapes are out there.
I've never heard this. I mean, I'd heard about the airport, and of course in the '90s there was all this talk about connections to the Clintons.
Am I on to something? Have you heard a lot of that, Tina? Did I get that loosely? Get some of those facts correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, watch your back.
Well,
what's
the pilot's name?
Barry Seal.
Barry Seal.
Barry Seal. Huh.
Barry Seal. And
this is Learning University, is it?
And look, and his wife, they made, when I say they made millions of dollars, they just made like hundreds of thousands of dollars and just diamonds and luxury cars, everything. Then when the mob got her husband, she took off, and I want to say now you think this is too strange to make up. I think she's like a waitress in Waffle House or something somewhere. She went back to Louisiana or somewhere.
Wow.
I think she's still living and just, sort of obviously out of the limelight, but to go from being on top, what some people would say, to then, hey, I'm a waitress at Waffle House, and I lived that life, and now I'm living this life, but at least I'm alive.
That's crazy. Listen, Tina, great question, great history lesson here from JJ.
Well, sorry I took so long.
No,
that's kind of going.
Fascinating.
Sounds like that pastor's got a big job in front of him.
That's right. That's right.
Okay, Tina, thank you.
How many skeletons are in that town?
Oh, me. Hey, let's go up to Nebraska and talk to Michael. Michael, thank you for calling. Michael.
Welcome. Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Professors.
Well, tell me about what part of Nebraska are you from?
Northeast corner of Nebraska. It's called Ponca, Nebraska.
Okay.
Nice Indian name.
I've been to Plattsmouth, Nebraska, which is my brother pastored there, And that's up the river from there. But welcome. Hey, do you want to answer?
Yeah. Last month. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you want to answer or ask or both?
Michael, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Michael,
Can
you
you
want
hear
to
me?
turn your radio down because there's a delay and it's going to mess you up and throw us off as well.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You want to ask, answer,
Okay,
or
good.
do? You want to ask, answer, or do both, Michael?
Well, I want to do both. And, sorry about the signal strength here. It's very weak in northeast Nebraska, but yeah.
Well, that's all right. Which question you want to answer, Michael?
I'd like to do the one about the owls.
Okay, here it is. What is the name of a group of owls?
So, I know the name of a group of baboons. That's Congress. But the group
You're
of
on
owls,
you're on the right track. Go ahead.
But enough about our
Oh.
political situation currently.
right. The group of owls is Parliament.
That is correct.
Wow,
Yeah,
nicely
that is
done.
right. I love that. Groups of animals, just, it's one of my
Fascinating.
interests. Yeah.
Sometimes they make sense, and other times you go, where did they come up with that?
The two that fascinate me the most is a giraffe. I've asked that one before. It's a tower.
A tower of
Yeah.
giraffes?
And
Yeah,
the
and-
pride of lions makes
Yeah.
sense.
And then a group of porcupines is a prickle.
A
Prick,
prickle
you don't
of
need to give these
porcupines.
away.
I've already used them.
Oh,
I'm
all
just
right.
reminded.
I've been to their concert, Prickle of Porcupines.
Hey, great job, Michael. You have a question for us?
I sure do. Okay, so you guys are all radio people, and so I got a radio question for you. All right. Effective radiated power (ERP), right, is the signal. We got really weak signal here. I barely pick you guys up, but I managed to get your guys' signal here, and so the signal drops off very quickly as it goes away from the transmitter. And there's a name for how it drops off. And there's actually a formula for it. You don't have to give me the formula, but do you know what the name of how quickly the signal drops off as far as going away from it?
Now, we've got an engineer who's actually at the control board. You got the bandwidth, and you've got AM is amplitude modification. FM is frequency modification. And you have the line of sight, and you have one that goes in waves. And with AM, you have skip. You can have a tiny AM station in a town, and somebody can hear that in California, or they can hear it in the Caribbean, because it just skips and skips and goes across the country. And then it's different with FM, but I can't remember about how it just goes and drops off. What's the answer?
Yeah, I had a good friend named Skip. Okay, so it's called the inverse square law. So it's the distance squared, but it's inverted. So it drops off very quickly.
Yeah. You must be an engineer, or you like technology.
Yeah, telecommunications engineer, yeah.
Good. Hey, look, we got to go. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much, Michael. Thanks for listening there in Nebraska.
Amen.
Let's thank God for smart people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, I've met a few.
Me too.
Okay, let's go back to Arkansas and talk to Stephen. Stephen, thank you for calling.
Hey, thank you, guys. First time to get through to you.
Oh, way to go, man. What part of Arkansas? As soon as you got through, where you live in Arkansas?
Hot Springs. And we've got some baseball connections here, too, with Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
Oh, tell us about it.
Well, the legend has it, of course, there were several spring training games that went on here in the early 1900s, and there's a marker where he hit a 573-foot home run into an alligator farm.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Is he
JJ,
from Arkansas?
No,
is
he's from
true.
Maryland. He's from Baltimore, Maryland. He grew up in Baltimore. And if you had three guys up there and you were modeling what a baseball player should look like, it would not be Babe Ruth.
That's right.
And I think he grew up in like a boys' home, an orphanage. And to get out there, and like you say, he didn't look like a ball player, and he looked closer to a sumo wrestler than he did a baseball player.
It's one of the most amazing stories. I love good baseball. I love basketball. Grew up playing basketball. Love football, but baseball. It's the heritage
American
of it,
sport.
and
Yeah.
it was great.
Hey, Stephen, Hot Springs, those springs, you guys have had movie stars and presidents and everybody come for the healing properties of the waters. And back in the day, people would go on their honeymoon or their anniversary. What a wonderful place there. My next door neighbors, they just went there, I think, on their like a little getaway, because it's supposed to be so nice and pretty. But back to the show, ask, answer, or do both.
Well, like a Golden Corral buffet, I'm going to do both.
I like that. Which one you want to answer?
I'm going to try the one about the moonwalk.
Oh, okay. All right.
The moonwalk that supposedly happened?
Yes, sir.
Out in New Mexico. Out in New Mexico. Yeah.
All right. Here's the question. We know that Neil Armstrong was the first man to walk on the moon. Who was the last?
Okay. Well, I'm going to answer like a congressman with a question, and it's towards JJ. So I'm going to say, is it Michael Jackson? Is that true?
Oh, I like that.
He created the moon.
Great.
That's right. No, it's a fellow I've never heard of. Eugene Cernan, is that correct?
That's correct.
Way to go,
Eugene
man.
Cernan. Or Cernan. I don't know the name of the pronunciation.
Well, that was Mr. and Miss Cernan's boy.
Yes.
I know that for sure.
That was December 14th, 1972.
So they say.
Yes, they say.
Are you a flat Earth guy, JJ?
You know, my wife and kids. Well, just don't get going there.
Okay. Hey, what's your question for us, Stephen?
Well, this is kind of a question/joke, but put your thinking caps on. What state was the first toothbrush invented?
The first state. All right,
this is going to be tough, but I heard it was Arkansas because up there in the Ozarks, they had one tooth, and in place of teeth brush, they named it toothbrush.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
is that what this is? It's a joke?
Well, I don't know, but we'll find out.
I'm like, I've heard that, Arkansas. If it had been anywhere else, they would have called it teeth brush. But now that's probably somebody from Texas that came up with that.
Well, somebody from Arkansas is asking that question. So anyway, I thought
he's not going to tell on himself like that. Stephen, what's the answer?
Yeah, you guys are correct. You're professors, and it doesn't hurt to laugh at yourself. So, yes, the legend has it was Arkansas.
The invention of the toothbrush.
Yes.
Single tooth.
You made us laugh, Stephen. Come by and see our studio sometime. We'd love to have you for a visit if you're ever this way. God bless you. Have a great weekend. Thank you again for listening to AFR.
No, we're going to wait. We'll wait for after the break. JJ, do you have anywhere you're headed?
I do. Thank you for
asking.
asking.
The time here before the break.
Yeah, Bethlehem Church in New Albany, Mississippi, formerly Bethlehem United Methodist Church, and it's a Sunday night, August the 4th. They're having a big blowout. They used to call it date night for years. Now they're opening it up to the community. Meal. I'm doing stand-up comedy, bringing the message. They've got skits. They've got prizes.
Wow.
Everything. Now it is a ticketed event.
Right.
Sunday night. August the 4th, everyone's invited, and you can go to their page or go to JJ Jasper Official on Facebook, and I'll have a little flyer posted there.
And where is this going to be?
At Bethlehem Church in New Albany, Mississippi, and that's Sunday night, August the 4th. And again, food and fun and skits and prizes, stand-up comedy from yours truly, JJ Jasper, and then I'll be sharing a message as well.
Well, sounds excellent, folks. Check that out. If you are in the New Albany, Mississippi area, and if you want to find out where JJ might be going in the weeks and months to come, you can go to the same website. But also if you want to invite him to come to your church or other event. All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break for news, and we will be right back.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family,
freedom. American Family Radio.
As a federal or state employee, you have the opportunity to support the American Family Association through the combined federal campaign. By designating a monthly payroll deduction using 12037, you help AFA continue to fight for your family. So when you complete your CFC form, remember, AFA's number is 12037. And thank you for your help.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh. The FBI announcing they want to interview former President Donald Trump and the assassination attempt against him to obtain a victim statement. C.B. Cotton reports from Butler, Pennsylvania, where Trump was shot at a campaign rally.
This is standard protocol for any criminal investigation, but this new development comes as we learn the agency's investigators are still reviewing evidence in the attempted assassination. A spokesperson telling me in part, quote, "Since the day of the attack, the FBI has been consistent and clear that the shooting was an attempted assassination of former President Trump, which resulted in his injury as well as the death of a heroic father and the injuries of several other victims. The FBI's shooting reconstruction team continues to examine evidence from the scene, including bullet fragments, and the investigation remains ongoing."
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu meets with President Trump at his home in Florida today. Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton with what he hopes the two can accomplish.
Well, I think the Prime Minister's speech to Congress was a home run. I don't see how anyone could disagree with anything he said. You know, for instance, that this is not a clash of civilization. It's a clash between civilization and barbarism. I suspect that President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu will reflect on the great success they had. You saw during the Trump era what happens when America embraces Israel tightly. We didn't have war. We had peace agreements between Israel and many of its Arab nations. We also saw Iran pulling in its horns by the end of the Trump administration because President Trump stood up to Iran as opposed to appease them the way Kamala Harris would and Joe Biden has.
House Speaker Mike Johnson visiting the southern border.
Speaker Johnson and California Republican Congressman Darrell Issa toured a port of entry along the border in California, the speaker using the opportunity to bring attention to the SAVE Act, a bill pushed by House Republicans that would require proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections.
But you should know that 198 House Democrats voted against that legislation a couple of weeks ago, and the Biden-Harris administration threatened to veto the legislation.
This week, House Republicans passed a resolution condemning the Biden administration's border policies. Meanwhile, the White House has consistently asked Congress to work in a bipartisan way to pass immigration reform. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The Border Enforcement Organization is giving high marks to the man seeking to become the next vice president. Chad Groening has more.
J.D. Vance has not been in the Senate that long, but during his brief tenure, he's taken a strong stance on immigration, which has been one of former President Donald Trump's hallmark campaign issues. Ira Melman is media director for the Federation for American Immigration Reform.
When it comes to immigration, he has consistently sided with enforcement. He has opposed things like amnesty for illegal aliens. And look, he is not at the top of the ticket. He is at the bottom of the ticket, and he is going to take his marching orders from the guy who is running for president. So we can assume, like any other vice president, he would carry out the duties of the administration which he serves.
Still, Melman says Vance has introduced several bills in his year and a half in the Senate, like the No Obamacare for Illegal Aliens Act, the Timely Departure Act, and the Withholding Illegal Revenue Entering Drug Markets, or WIRED Act.
These are the sorts of bills that eliminate incentives for people to come to the United States illegally. It alleviates burdens on the American public. Certainly one of the concerns of the American people is just the sheer costs of dealing with illegal immigration.
And Melman says Vance has taken an active approach to conducting congressional oversight of federal agencies and holding the Biden administration accountable. I'm Chad Groening.
And finally, prices rose last month, but at a modest pace.
Inflation rose at a 0.1% pace in June, matching the expectations of economists. The Personal Consumption Expenditures Index for the year ending in June was up 2.5%, though the core PCE, excluding food and energy, rose 2.6% for the year, which matched the previous reading. Economists were predicting a slight improvement. While the GDP reading for the spring quarter suggests the U.S. U.S. economy is holding up. Many Americans are dealing with much higher prices for groceries, cars, and homes than they were a few years ago. Ginny Cosola, Fox News.
For American Family News, I'm Rusty Pugh.
Join us for the second annual AFA at the Ark.
Myself and Tony Ventagliano, his family, and my family, and several of the other staff members at AFA.
Tickets include transportation from the hotel to the museums, both tours, and special presentations by Answers in Genesis speakers. AFA has reserved a block of rooms at a discounted price with the Marriott Cincinnati Airport Hotel. To register, go to afa.net/events and join us for AFA at the Ark.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840. Now, back to more Trivia Friday.
And welcome back to Trivia Friday. Ed Vitagliano sitting in for Tim Wildman this week. I am joined in studio by Bert Harper and J.J. Jasper. Pardon me. That was one of those sneezes that started coming on, and I just said, I'm never going to get to a stopping place. So pardon me for that, folks. The number to call if you want to get on with us is 888-589-8840. That's 888-589-8840. Guys, let's go ahead and reset our questions for the last 25 minutes or so.
I have two left, and this is the Andy Griffiths. Come on, Andy Griffith Show fans. I need you to answer this question. What is the name of the church that Andy, Barney, Aunt Bee, and Opie attend on Sundays? Multiple choice. All Saints Church, All Souls Church, or Mayberry Community Church. And then the other one is a true and false. Babies are not born with fingerprints. Is that true or is that false?
All right, I have one left for my original. I will add one to so we can make it to the end of the show. The one I have left is this. Who were the presidential candidates, talking about Republican and Democrat, who were the presidential candidates in the 1976 race for the White House? And the question I'll add, this is a pretty easy one. Most Christians know that Revelation is the last book in the New Testament. What is the last book of the Old Testament?
Good.
What is the last book of the Old Testament?
Yeah, good question. Hey, I've got three, and not a single one is.
Wow.
Well, no,
Unusual.
that's right. My true or false got answered, so I had to add one. Here's my questions. Baby boomers. This Hall of Fame Christian singer had 5 Grammy Awards, 11 Dove Awards, 3 of which were for Male Vocalist of the Year. One of his signature songs is a duet. He and Sandy Patty sang this song that was like #1. So name him. He's from Kentucky and an amazing Christian artist. Second question, what type of clam chowder is made with a tomato-based sauce? What type of clam chowder is made with a tomato-based sauce? Third question, Old Testament king was about to die. He prayed, and God extended his life for 15 years. Name him. Which Old Testament king was about to die? He prayed, and God extended his life 15 years. It's in Isaiah.
All right, let's go back, Bert.
Let's go to Missouri and talk to David. David, thank you for calling.
Oh, hey.
Well, are you in the Boot Hill, or are you somewhere else of Missouri?
I'm not in the Boot Hill. I'm from Cadet.
Okay. Well, it's good to have you. You want to answer or ask or do both?
I think I'm going to do both.
Okay. Which question?
The one about the baby's fingerprints.
Okay. Babies are not born with fingerprints. Is this true or false?
It is false. Babies are born with fingerprints. Fingerprints are developed pretty early on, actually.
Yeah, they develop 3 months after they're born, according to my source. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I have heard that.
Yeah, 3 months.
But David made me question it.
He did me too.
Yeah.
He was there. So that's the reason I added, according to my source.
Yeah.
Isn't that a safety net?
Yes, it is.
Here's the deal. That's why when there's any kind of bank robbery or some kind of major crime, you will never see a baby in the lineup. They ain't got nothing on them. No evidence.
Nothing on them. Oh, man. Okay. Hey, listen, David, that's I could not guarantee that, but when I saw that, I said, yeah, that's what I saw. I said, that's a good trivia question.
David, what's your question for us?
Okay, do you guys allow video game questions or no?
Ed will know the answer.
Well, no,
Go ahead.
I won't necessarily know it. Yeah, I mean, that'd be fine, David.
Let me go get my grandson.
It's probably I probably won't get it because I haven't played in forever.
Let us run down to the basement of our parents' home while we're in our 40s.
Was this made after Pong?
That's the problem you're going to run into, David. But go ahead and ask it.
Okay. What was the final Skylanders game called?
The final what game?
Skylanders game.
Final Skylanders. Well, guys, I've never even heard of Skylanders. I've heard of Skyrim, but I haven't heard of Skylanders. Have you, either of you guys?
No.
No, if you get a little farther down the road from Pac-Man.
Donkey Kong.
I'm not going to be much.
I have heard of Skyrim, and what? I'm not as bad off as these guys, but I haven't played it, and I've never heard of Skylanders. So David, we're not trying to be disrespectful.
Yeah, what's the
we
answer,
know
David?
we're old codgers here.
Your education's some boomers, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Tell us the answer and give us a little background here. What are we talking about?
Okay. So the last Skylanders game made was a game called Imaginators. Basically, Skylanders is a game where you buy action figures separate from the game. You put them on this little portal. It transports, through chips and stuff, it transports the brain of the character into the game.
Is Mario?
So you run around.
Is Mario jumping over anybody and collecting dots and things?
No, but they have Bowser.
Okay, I was wondering where the gorilla was, man.
There you go. Hey, thanks,
buddy.
buddy.
Thank you, David. We appreciate it. Hey, that means we got younger. We had a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old. I don't know your age, David, but amen. I love that.
So, David, you're not a lady, so all bets are off. How old are you?
I am 15.
Okay.
15.
Oh, okay.
Well,
you sound older.
You sound 30, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
And when was the last Skylanders game? Like what year?
It was 2018.
Okay.
2018.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Way to go, David.
Old.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you calling. We really do.
We really do.
Let's go to Alabama and talk to Lottie. Lottie, thank you for calling.
Yes, I wanted to answer the one about the king that lived 15 more years because he begged God not to.
Wonderful. Thank you for knowing the word. Here's the question. Which Old Testament king was about to die, prayed, and God extended his life 15 years?
Yes, it was Hezekiah.
Woo. Nicely done. And I got to tell you, those are two of my favorite books, First and Second Hezekiah.
You ever read those books, Lottie?
No, actually, no.
Lottie, with your sweet name, and you're gonna. I think this will make you chuckle. Somebody said you may be a Baptist if you think you're supposed to take a covered dish to heaven with you when you die. You may be a Baptist if you never sung the third hymn of any third verse of any hymn in your life. And you may be a Baptist if you wonder how come we have never got Lottie Moon paid off. Well, Lottie, thank you for knowing the word. That's right. God sent Isaiah to tell Hezekiah who's going to die, and he cried out to the Lord, and he extended his life 15 years, and he even gave him a sign, and he turned the clock back, the sundial, during that. And that's in Isaiah 38.
Lottie, if you don't mind my asking, were you named after Lottie Moon?
I was named after my grandmother.
Oh, okay.
She may have been named after Lottie.
Okay.
She might have known Lottie Moon.
Hey, Lottie,
Yes, because
my dad came from a family of 8 boys. Okay, I'm sorry, Lottie. I didn't hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, my great-grandfather was a Methodist preacher, but my great-grandmother was a Baptist.
Okay.
So the Methodist preacher's daughter married the Baptist preacher's son. But anyway, so she could have been named.
Okay.
For Lottie Moon. I'm not for sure.
Yeah,
I never
wouldn't that be
heard
something?
that.
And what an honor that you carried that name and continued that legacy.
My dad, from a family of 9, 8 of them were boys and 1 girl, and her name was Lottie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was.
That's good.
A lot of the time it was Charlotte, and Lottie was shortened for Lottie in a lot of them.
And then if you'll tell more of that story, I think our listeners are going to know with 8 brothers. Didn't you say she didn't get to go on her first date till she was 30?
That's right. Listen, if you ever watched the movie Shenandoah with Jimmy Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
And they come in, and that guy's going to ask the only daughter he has. All those brothers are lined up there. It was that way. It really was. Thank you.
Hey, Lottie, do you have a question for us?
I do. What catastrophic event happened that caused God's judgment to fall on Israel because Hezekiah lived 15 more years?
Okay.
Well, now, prior to that, you have Assyria, and they were running roughshod over everybody, crushing everybody, but God allowed that, even sent that for judgment. And then, let's see, right prior to that, ask the question again. I'm wondering if you're talking about how he reached out to his ally for help instead of asking for God. What's the question again?
Well, yeah, that too. But this is directly has to do with Hezekiah living for 15 more years.
He had a son named Manasseh that was born, who was one of the most evil kings there was during that period of time. Hey, you're going to have to help me out.
Yeah, help
Go
me out.
ahead.
I was just reading that, but I'm missing the answer to the question
Yeah,
you're asking.
Manasseh was the most wicked king of any of the kings that had lived before him, and so God's judgment then was sure that he would bring them into captivity.
Okay,
because Manasseh was such a wicked man.
He was more like Ahab in the north. I mean,
Manasseh was born only because Hezekiah lived
15 more years.
Okay.
And prior to that, Hezekiah, good king, and when they were outnumbered, no possible way for victory. And Hezekiah tore his robe, called for a fast, took this letter from the messenger, and actually laid it out on the altar and prayed and said, God, there's no one like you, and gave him praise and said, it's curtains for us unless you come through. And God answered that prayer. And then when he got sick, he extended his life and, did that miracle, showed that sign of turning the sundial back. So, folks, if you're not reading your Bible, there's mystery, intrigue.
Amen.
You get faith. Faith cometh by hearing, hearing by the word of God. He will give you courage, boldness. He will lead, guide, and direct you. He'll reveal himself to you as you read his word.
Preach it, JJ. Amen.
That's good preach.
Amen. Hey, Lottie, thank you.
Thank you, Lottie.
It was a blessing to hear from you. Let's go to Minnesota and talk to Christy. Christy, thank you for calling.
Hello.
Yes. What part of Minnesota are you from?
South Central, right by the Iowa border. About 60 miles from Mason City.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Christy, you want to ask, answer, or do both?
I'll do both.
All right. Which question do you want to try to answer?
I'll do the Andy Griffith question.
There we go.
Hey, man.
Now, you have it now, aren't you, Bert?
I'm all right.
You just said sick them to a dog.
What is the name of the church that Andy, Barney, Aunt B, and Opie attend on Sundays? All Saints Church, All Souls Church, or Mayberry Community Church?
All Souls Church.
That is right.
Nicely done. I wish we had another cowbell to ring.
I would. Hey,
I do too.
Do I have authority to give a cap away?
I think sure
Can you name the pastor? Do you know the name of the pastor?
Oh gosh, I should because I've seen every episode more than once.
Okay, well, it's Pastor Tucker.
Pastor Tucker.
Yeah, and he's the same one the whole time. He stayed there a long time.
Hey, look, Tim does this all the time. He gets generous. Brother Bert had a heart to want to give a cap away. Brother Bert, you're a visitor. I think we ought to give her one for you and her having such a kinship and knowing all those episodes and watching Mayberry.
Okay, that means, Christy, don't hang up even after you ask your question so Cindy can get your address.
Will that be okay, Christy, if we give you a cap?
Oh, that'd be awesome because I actually have won a travel mug and a T-shirt.
Oh, wow. You'll have the trifecta.
Man, she can have all three at the same time.
Yeah. And here's what you have to do, though. You have to send us a picture with you wearing your shirt, holding your travel mug with that cap on your head.
That's right.
At some point, send that to comments at afr.net.
And make sure your dog is in the picture with you. Hitting the background.
You can hear barking? Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So your question is, what kind of dog was that according to his bark? No, what's your question for us, Christy?
I have an Andy Griffith question also.
These two are ready.
The character that played Ernest T. Bass, he played two other characters on the show. One was just on once, and one was just a voice. What was it?
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
Ernest T. he squelched that part. The others were just thrown away. But I do not remember.
I'll kick myself
after she tells
when she tells us the voice. Oh wait.
Here we go.
The voice was on the radio program. The one where the blush. What's the?
Oh yeah.
What's the name?
Leonard Blush.
Leonard Blush. Is that part right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right. Way to go. Hey,
I knew it was kind of hanging around there somewhere. And then I can't remember. I'll kick myself.
Yeah. All right. What's the answer?
What's the answer?
The other one was when Helen and Andy have their day to spend time together, and Barney's in charge, and he played the TV repairman.
That is
that Barney brought out to the lake.
Yes.
And he started.
Way to go. Hey, Christy, you are official member of the Andy Griffith Rerun Fan Club.
That's right. Brother Bert's the president. You can be the vice president, Christy. Hey, make sure and stay on the line, Christy. Congratulations. You won a cap just for being an all-around good gal. And thank you so much for listening to AFR there in Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Real close to Iowa.
Yeah. That's right. I've been to Mason City twice, once this spring, and wonderful, wonderful people. There were just shy of 1,000 people in the auditorium at the community college. I got to do stand-up comedy for a Christian school, wonderful Christian school.
Oh, this was recently.
Recently,
yeah,
back in the
middle
spring.
America, awesome.
Yeah, wonderful.
It really is, guys.
They call it flyover country, but there are people.
Right.
Better believe it.
Right.
That's who Don Wildman pinpointed when he started this radio.
He really did. He wanted grassroots, ordinary, regular folks.
Because some people advised Brother Don to move the ministry to D.C., Washington, D.C. You'll be closer to the powerful people there. They said you can create more change by moving the ministry there. And he said, no. First of all, I like flying under the radar. And then second of all, like you guys are saying, he wanted to speak to the average people in this country and not the political or even the cultural elite.
Genuine, authentic, grassroots, salt-of-the-earth folks like you listening. And we mean that. We're not just saying that. That's not hyperbole.
With my accent, I'd have never gone over in D.C.
Who wants to live? I don't know. Who wants to live in that?
Amen. Hey, let's go to Oklahoma and talk to Patricia. Patricia, thank you for calling.
Hello.
Yes. What part of Oklahoma do you live?
Ponca City.
Okay, Ponca City. Yes, been through there.
We had someone just recently in the last several weeks from Ponca City. I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
Tell us what's famous about Ponca City or something interesting about your town, Patricia.
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. Now you don't work for the Chamber of Commerce, do you? And you're not a writer. You don't pass out pamphlets for the Chamber of Commerce or anything, do you?
Well, really, I should know. I worked with I was secretary for AARP and RSVP, which is in Ponca City, so I'd say RSVP.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, do y'all
What
have
is-
a Dollar
what is that?
General? That's the big question.
There you go.
Do you have a Dollar General, Patricia?
We have a lot of them.
Okay, great. Hey,
What
you're
is-
on the map. That's
What is RSVP? What is that?
That's when somebody wants you to come to a party.
RSVP, Retired Seniors Volunteer Program.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
All right. Well,
It's
that's
seniors helping seniors.
is that a nationwide program?
I believe it is.
All right. So that is something.
And
about
it's also when you join a lifelong.
Okay. All right.
So I am a lifetime member.
Great.
All right. You want to ask, answer, or do both, Patricia?
I'm going to do both.
All right. Which one do you want to try to answer?
Well, first off, my favorite soup, tomato-based clam chowder,
that's
is
yours.
Manhattan.
Here's the question. What type of clam chowder is made with a tomato-based sauce?
Manhattan.
Nicely done. And you knew that too, right?
I did.
From that
We
movie?
also called it Long Island clam chowder, but I think Manhattan is the right right way. Now I'm just going to say, Patricia, we can agree to disagree. Being from the Boston area, Boston clam chowder is New England. Technically, New England clam chowder is my favorite.
And I love
to each
the
his own.
accent. I love the accent.
It comes back on him.
That's right.
It comes back. If I ever eat lobster, you know.
Yeah. Or if anybody ruffles your feathers, you'll say, forget about it. That sounds pretty genuine. Hey, what's your question for us, Patricia?
Well, I'm going to take you back. I'm old enough. I want to know if you know what was the National Park Registry of Historical Landmarks in, I'd say it's outside of Atlantic City, New Jersey.
The National Park Registry?
It became National Park Registry of Historical Landmarks, and she's
Ellis Island? Could it
6
be?
feet
That's in
high,
New
6
York.
stories high.
Oh, okay.
That's in.
I guess you're saying it used
Harbor.
to be named something else, and then it became the historical place where they'll take an old building in someone's town and
Guys, I'll just be honest. I have
no
zero idea.
Yeah, what's the answer, Patricia?
Lucy the elephant.
Oh, okay. So you're telling us, one of the.
Margate, New Jersey. I used to play in her when I was a kid.
Wow.
And it's the name of a building, Lucy the Elephant?
Yeah, at one time she was a bar, another time was a hotel.
Okay.
I used to be able to play in her legs.
Okay.
Oh,
I've seen
it
the
looked
picture
like
of
it
it.
looked like an elephant.
Yeah.
Lucy the elephant. She was there was a big squabble about it back in the 70s, I believe, early 70s, and it went national, and it was this Save the Elephant, Save Lucy.
Okay.
Do you remember that? That went national.
I missed that.
I don't.
That's
I don't
so
remember
they
that.
put it on the registry to save it. Hey, we got to go. Thank you, Patricia. God bless you. Have a great weekend, and thank you so much for listening to AFR.
All right, we are almost out of time, so we need to give whatever answers are remaining.
All of mine were answered.
So you had none remaining?
None remaining.
Oh, okay.
They did good. They made up for the last time I was on. So
Well, I have two remaining. Who were the presidential candidates, guys, in the 1976 race for the White House?
was it Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter?
That's right.
Wow.
Gerald
Hey, I
Ford
thought that was it.
and Jimmy Carter.
Nicely done.
Jimmy Carter.
And what's your other one?
The other one, most Christians know that Revelation is the last book of the New Testament. What is the last book of the Old Testament?
Malachi.
Malachi.
Yeah, Malachi, the only Italian prophet in the Bible.
Our oldest grandson, his name is Jude Malachi. So
Yeah,
don't you
I
know that?
like
Yeah.
that. Here's what I've got: Hall of Fame Christian singer, duet with Sandy Patty.
I don't know that.
Lionel Harris.
Larnell
Oh, wow.
Harris.
Larnell Harris.
New Day Christian Distributors. They are just set to release 13 of his albums, all of his music, and they're going to put it on all the platforms.
Wow.
He's amazing. He was the first Christian artist to perform inside the Kremlin after the fall of the Soviet Union. He's the only person in history to be a member of 3 different Hall of Fames.
Wow.
And classy, he's been by
Class
AFR many times. A wonderful, wonderful man.
He was an usher at his church, is what I understand.
Yeah, Mitzi, I think his wife.
Any more?
No. Hey, JJ Jasper Official on Facebook. I'm going to be out next week and off next week, and you can find out why.
Thank you, folks.